right, welcome. It's Monday morning, March 2nd, here for the New Earth Meditation and Energy Update. I'm Jason Donaldson, and I do this every month to help us stay connected and share a little bit about what I'm tuning in to energetically for the collective. And even those that are on the call, there might be some stuff that comes up, and it's an opportunity for us to find and discover tools, ones I've already learned and studied, and ones that just come through in the moment. So a lot of the meditations are somewhat channeled. It's coming through based on what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing. Same with the cards I pull and even what I'm about to talk about now. I haven't really prepped anything and I haven't really gone on the internet and looked at what's going on other than what I saw this last couple of weeks in Iran and stuff like that. So I'm just going to tune in and see what comes through. What I had originally coming in was waking up with sadness. And I'm still feeling that sadness. And what's interesting about, as we go on our spiritual journey and our awakening and our health changes we do as a result of that, and the changes in what we listen to and watch, we start to become aware of the impact that things have on us. We become more sensitive, and that's what a lot of people don't talk about with the spiritual process or the ascension process, is that we become more and more like a finely tuned instrument. And so it becomes harder a lot of times to navigate certain things that we enjoyed in the past, like large gatherings, certain movies, certain music. You start hearing the lyrics and the music, and we can kind of like push it away, and yet we still hear it, and it becomes like something that can't really be ignored. And what's interesting is as that happens, after a while, you start to be able to not be overwhelmed by it anymore. Like you're still feeling it, you're still hearing it, but there's this realization that it's an illusion and it's not pushing on those parts of us that were wounded or feeling hurt. So my example for using that with the sadness this morning is in my own process. Years ago, I would feel that sadness and I'd be like, oh, what's wrong with me? Or I'd be like, oh, here's my sadness again. And I would get upset, or I would tune in and I'd be like, oh, it's the neighbor next door, and then get angry at the neighbor next door for feeling sadness. Or I would tune into the astrology and it's like, oh, it's because these planets are in a certain alignment and this is why I'm feeling sad, like trying to make a meaning from it. But what I've learned is the most powerful thing is that because we are all things and we are connected to everything, we feel everything. And that's what happens as we awaken. We start to feel that interconnectedness of all life and everything. And then it's a matter of, can I be with it, feel it, and allow it to be as it is? And so that was what came to me this morning, is that sadness and just breathing with it while my mind's still doing all those things. And that's what's tricky, is, and people don't always acknowledge, is that the mind, the ego mind, will still try to figure all that out and present all this evidence and options as to why you're feeling a certain way. But then like to come to the breath and come to like just the feeling of it. And a weird thing happened this morning where I could feel that part. I touched and acknowledged that part where it is in the body. And then an actual vision came of like a child and a period in my life where something had happened to me. And this is where I would normally in the past be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. But that part is experiencing that currently. We're multidimensional. So that 10-year-old me is currently going through that situation. And for me to like say it's okay, it's confusing, and it's actually depleting that being's energy, that aspect of me. And so when I was just with the breath and with that feeling, and then bringing in that feeling of the divine love, and that, how we can visualize this energy coming through from the above when it's really from within, it's almost like enveloping that aspect of self in that time period, so that they are less likely to take on these negative beliefs and the idea that it's their fault or something bad or wrong is happening. It feels like that's what the meditation is going to be going to today. Let me just tune in what else wants to come through for the collective for the month of March. Okay, and this was the other thing, and this is what they're showing me now, is fear of the unknown, like what's going to happen. There's a lot of shifts and changes on the planet, and there's certain agendas being pushed forward, and there's certain ways of how it's being presented to the world that's creating more like fear and anxiety of the unknown, and even talks of like this end times prophecies of World War III and pestilence and death and all this destruction. And we know this to be the result of the breaking down of the ego and the removing of the old ways of thinking and being. So like everything is coming up for us to engage and interact with, to see how we respond will determine where we go, where our energy goes with this split and this shifting of these timelines. And so what I found in my own life is a stripping away of a lot of what I thought I knew to be true and what brought me comfort. And now it's very much like going back in time to less spiritual interactions and conversations with people, and even the wounding I held in such high esteem from what happened to me and all the work I did on it, realizing that that's the trap as well. Like that's part of the pain that allows me to be influenced and swayed by these world events and things that happen in my life. So how I've experienced that personally is a bit of a boring feeling, like feeling bored and a bit lost and confused. And so hopefully that's helpful to someone. I don't know if anyone else has been feeling that, where it's like so much has changed and transformed that it's almost like everything's out of balance and not sure what is going to happen next. And then knowing we are like divinely protected and guided, and to have that faith that all this is just a dream and an adventure. So let me pull a couple cards, see what comes through. Pull 3 cards. See what information is to be revealed for this month that'll be most helpful to everyone here. So I got the 2 of Pentacles reversed. And so as I tune into that, I actually just did a reading recently for somebody, and this card came up, and it feels similar here, is this imbalance of the light and the darkness, where, and it actually feels weighted in the light. So it's kind of like when the light turns on in the room, everything's revealed, and it seems darker then, because there's actually more light. There seems like there's more darkness, and everything that we hadn't seen or acknowledged is like rising to the surface, and it can be unbalancing. So really this card always reminds me of when it's in reverse, is like there's an imbalance somewhere, and the best tool is the grounding, to like be in the body and to be with that imbalance, so that you can find your balance once again, like to feel the feet rather than the head. Because usually when this happens, we want to try to use the intellect and figure out what's going on. But this is always a good indication that that's not the time to try to figure it out, because everything's weighted in a certain perspective, a certain viewpoint. So it's like having blinders on. Because and then the next card I got afterwards was the Hermit reversed, which is basically that same kind of thing. Like even internally, even our like meditative spiritual connections, like I'm going to sit and I'm going to meditate and I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to get the answer. And that often works. And sometimes it takes like a month. Like there was times when I was meditating all the time that I would ask a question, I'd sit in meditation, I'd get nothing. And I'd do it again and again and again. And eventually it would come, but it wasn't like an immediate thing. And that's what I feel like with what's happening right now, is especially if you're somebody that's used to being able to navigate things like intellectually, like, oh, I see what this is and I know what to do. And then now it's like, wow, I have no clue what is going on and this doesn't make any sense. And then trying to figure it out is actually making it worse. Or if you're someone that's spiritual and is like, oh, I understand the nature of reality and I know all this is a dream, like I just said, and yet like this is not the dream I wanted. This is not what I wanted to manifest. And this is like that revealing that's happening where it's not about our will, it's about the divine will, it's about what needs to be um, experienced in this lifetime versus what we would prefer. And ultimately, as we can sit with it and acknowledge it and be with it, it will allow that to shift and change. It's when we hold on and grasp to the ideas and concepts, especially the spiritual ones, it becomes a trap. And even this idea of a splitting timeline is all kind of BS. It's an intellectualizing a frequency and a experience when it's really not ever anything we can conceptualize. So what I'm getting is just be careful with, we already, most of us know this, like you can't really intellectually figure out life and relationships. You got to feel it and you got to be with it. And then the answer comes like through like this other higher intelligence or just the presence. And then also that part may not feel like it's online either. And it may feel like you're kind of lost and alone. And I've had people, and I've experienced it in my own life, where they're like, everything feels really dark and I don't feel spiritually connected. And often that's when we're the most connected, but we just don't perceive it that way. And it's kind of like that story of Jesus, the footprints in the sand, where there's like two footprints. And then there was periods where there was only one set of footprints. And the person's like, why would you leave me at my darkest times? And it's like, well, that's when I carried you. And so I think that's important to remember, that no matter how intense or weird or disoriented, everything feels like you are divinely protected and supported. And the only thing that can kind of make that distorted or harder or more challenging is when we try to fight it and make our reality something that we can't. And this is the old paradigm. And, for the new earth, it's going to be much more feminine, surrender, receptivity, allowing, but yet still flowing and dancing, versus like, I'm just going to make this happen. I know if I bang my head against this wall long enough, I'll get through it. And because in the old days that would work, but now it's not, it's just becoming more and more apparent that that's not going to work in the new paradigm. And then the King of Swords at the end. And this is what I got, I think last month or the month before, is through like our clarity of just being and seeing, the mind will calm and we'll get like these higher divine thoughts versus our old ways of thinking and programming. So with the King of Swords, it could be masculine or feminine, but it's this connection with how we interact with society, with our own internal like parts of self, and coming from a really clearly seen knowing of like the higher perspective, and then allowing like clear thinking as the result, because that's really the nature of reality. Is everything is made from thought. And so there's our own subconscious thought, and then there's the subconscious of the universe that creates all this, and everything's going to be created from that universal thought. And yet we can not notice it, or we could obstruct it by using our own thoughts that bubble to the surface that we hold on to. And so like with that light coming on, is like everything bubbling to the surface, and then it's going to feel disorienting. But how do we just be and look and notice rather than try to manage it or dominate it or make it wrong or bad? So hopefully that made sense and was helpful. And we'll get into the meditation. If everyone wants to get comfortable, you want to stay seated or lie down. I'm just tuning in as well. Yeah, and I'm really feeling that light. And when I used to meditate a lot, I still do, but not as much as I used to. And then the first time I ever did, there was like this blue light I saw sitting in a dark room, like pitch black room, sitting up meditating. and there was this blue light, and I was like, oh my God, like, why is there a blue light? It just came out of nowhere, and it was really bright and intense. And then like in my other practices too, there would be like this light, and eventually there was like this beam of energy that came down from above and like just blasted through me. And my teacher at the time was like, wow, that's, you're going to burn yourself out. And it was, but no, it felt actually good. And it was actually just revealing the light inside. And I'm feeling that right now. And maybe some of you have already worked with this tool, but I feel it's important to present this again. This is something I learned from Lisa Renee in the energetic synthesis ascension community. And it's called the 12D shield. And so it's this shielding, or this bubble of energy that goes around us that's permeable, but it allows us to discern energies that are coming into our field. And it also like helps protect our energetic field and our aura from like entities and implants and like these emotions of others. Even though we're interconnected with everything, it's kind of a nice little like buffer for helping us discern, oh yeah, let me remember my core and my stability versus getting caught up in like feeling something and then immediately going into the reaction of it. So this will be a bit of visualization, a little bit of breathing. And so this shielding works with connecting to the core of the earth and also the center of the universe. And in order to start this, let's first find our breath bringing us into this now moment, allowing that breath to expand and release. And also use the sounds around you to bring you into this moment. Like, what is it you hear as you have your eyes closed, just breathing? Notice the thoughts in the mind, any restlessness. And then just come back to the breath. Always the breath. Always the most important thing in any moment. That which is unconscious becomes conscious. And that is the goal, to incarnate, to experience, and to never forget the divine connection, the divine being, the eternal, infinite being that you are with each breath. Feel as you breathe in that breath, it fills you, it expands you, it enlightens you. How each exhale allows for that release, that relax, that letting go of what's being held, relaxing the jaw a bit, relaxing the eyes, the ears, forehead, and relaxing the shoulders. Feeling this relaxation energy with each exhale, moving down the body, down into the hips, legs, the feet. Drawing your energy and your awareness down to your feet, whatever they're connected to. Maybe it's your heels on a bed or feet on the floor, or maybe they're cross-legged. Just notice your feet. How as you focus on your feet, it draws the energy away from the mind and the thinking, away from kind of that top heavy feeling of, I need to figure this out, or I need to do this, or I got to accomplish that. Just be right now with the breath, with that sensation in the feet. Notice what's revealed in this moment and love whatever it is. It's a thought, if it's a sensation in the body, if it's even pain in the body, discomfort, love that. Not that you want it and desire to have more of it, but to know that that is the energy that's being asked for in this moment. To just go and shine that light, bring that feeling of I'm here, I hear you. Just be with it. And then take a breath. So you're not caught up in it. You're not identified with it. For you are the breath more than that. And yet it's part of reality in this moment. Take a deep inhale to a 5 count. Deep inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Even deeper and longer, not trying to get a bunch of air, but more just expanding, growing. And you get to the top, let it go all the way back down. And stay with this breath, allowing more expansion, more awareness. And as you do this, we're going to go back up to the mind's eye. So as if you're looking out through your eyes, and then just go back a little, back into the pineal gland area, the center of the brain, center of the head. And we're going to visualize a 6-pointed star, like the Star of David, representing the balance of the masculine and the feminine, the 2 triangles. Maybe you'll see this symbol as a color, shape, sensation, just intend for it to be there. And then as you're doing that, use the breath to help it spin. As it spins, as it rotates, it becomes like a Merkaba. It becomes more 3-dimensional. And we're going to send this symbol down the spine, down through every chakra, down into the core of the earth. As it moves down into the throat, to the higher heart, down into the heart, solar plexus, the sacral, the root, and it goes down, connecting through the floor wherever you find yourself, connecting with the earth. As it connects, just notice what's experienced. Continue to breathe, seeing that light coming through and down. As it leaves the tailbone, as it goes into the earth, it's like this silver cord connected to this symbol as it goes deeper, deeper down into the core of the earth. This is the multidimensional core of the earth. So this will be like a brilliant gold, white, platinum energy, or perhaps you feel another energy there. Just intend to connect with that. You stay with your breath, feeling that connection to the center of the earth. And with each breath, we're going to draw the energy up this cord, up into the body, feeling this rooted, grounded connection with the earth, our home, her loving presence. that we are one with her, protected by her, and loved by her, despite what we may have been told or what maybe comes into the mind in this moment. Just notice and feel that connection as that energy flows up. Feel in every cell and pore in the body. Feel it fill in the feet, the legs, to the hips, belly, into the chest, the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands, the neck and the head. And then we're going to call this symbol back with that cord still connected. For it was always there. We were always rooted and connected and grounded to the center. So as the symbol comes up that cord, it's going to stop 12 inches beneath the feet. And it's going to spin out a platform about 3 feet wide. This platform, as it spins out, it begins to radiate an energy similar to the core of the earth, this beautiful 12th dimensional platinum, gold, sparkly, iridescent energy up and all around the body. As the symbol goes through the tailbone again, up the spine, it's solidifying this like cylinder, this container of protection, support. As it comes out the top of the head, going to go about 4 feet above, and then it's going to stop and spin out another platform, which is like the ceiling of that container. Feeling that energy, that light, allowing for greater connection with our higher self, with our guides. It's like turning on a light, a beacon, letting them know, desire more support, more love, more assistance in finding balance and stability. And the symbol 4 feet above the head, we're going to send it out into deep space, out to the center of the universe. And this is like our multidimensional grounding cord, where we connect to the source of all things. For we are already connected. And now we're just reinforcing that connection, acknowledging that we know and desire to be one with our divine self, supported and loved. So this would be like that divine father energy, the one that protects, the one that lets us know we're safe, the one that provides that stability so we can be nurtured, so that we can express, so we can enjoy all the wonderful aspects of the Divine Mother. So as we call back this symbol, we retain that connection as if a cord is there, calling the symbol back to their third eye, back to the mind's eye. Allowing that symbol to dissolve, maintaining this connection to the earth, to the source of all creation. And as we do this, allow that energy to be felt in the body, allowing for the divine child to feel loved and supported, nurtured. And as they step forward, just lovingly acknowledge them in whatever way feels most appropriate. Notice how they are approaching you. Notice what you feel as they do. And then be that loving divine parent that you are for them. Just be there for them. curious about what they have to say, or maybe they're not saying anything. Just be and use your breath as a focal point. It feels like maybe you're going into thoughts too much or there's concern about any of this. Find your breath, breathe in, then let it go. Allow the breath to come in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now make note of the body, your physical body. Notice anywhere there's any kind of reaction or tension, tightness, and lovingly acknowledge that as your body is a wonderful feedback of anything that's being held or grasped at. And we're not trying to change it, we're lovingly acknowledging the body as well. And we're just going to breathe with the body using that same 5 count inhale, allowing the expansion, allowing yourself to send energy around that area, but not trying to blast through it or change it. It's like a loving acknowledgement. It's like silently, intentionally, gently sitting next to somebody that maybe is a little upset or confused. Use that intentional presence to just be and notice what you feel, what you see, what thoughts come forward, and then come to the breath. Be that breath, be that awareness, be that curiosity. We're just going to breathe like this for another minute, using each inhale to expand the belly up into the chest, shoulders relaxed, and allowing it all flow back down, feeling rooted, grounded, feeling that connection, this 12th dimensional energy all around you, supporting you, inviting in your guides and your guardians, your higher self, to assist you in this meditation and this healing and this acknowledgement of the healed being that you are. For this part that is breathing, this part that is witnessing, this part that is interacting with everything else is the healed, whole, complete being. Feel and know this in this moment. What if I am healed? What if I was never broken? What if nothing even ever happened? Notice that, what that brings up. Notice the parts that step forward as you say that, and listen to what they say, what they're experiencing in this moment, and be that loving presence of the eternal, of the divine, listening with love and compassion to what they experience, what they're experiencing. Be that patient presence, be that loving divine parent. With each breath, tell them I'm here. Thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry that is happening. Just be with whatever it is. And then bring in that light, bring in that love, bring in that energy, not to change or transform them, but to just gently warm the environment of wherever they are. Bringing a little balance, peace, grace. Just be with them. Notice what happens. Remember to stay with your breath. Stay here now as you're experiencing this, feeling your feet. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we want to do a gesture of acknowledgement. That may be giving them a hug, maybe bowing, maybe just touching your heart, letting them know they're loved and supported and accepted as they are. We'll end with, I'm here, I love you. So we're going to use the breath to come back, allowing an even deeper, more expansive breath, and opening the chest, extending the arms out. See if you can get any pops, bringing you more and more into the body in this moment. Gentle movement back and forth. Coming more back into the amazing vehicle that is this physical body, allowing it to reveal to you what's desired in this moment. So whatever stretch that is, massage, energy work, give yourself permission to do that in this moment. Give yourself permission to do the things you know that will help you. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and just look around the room, allowing yourself to notice, whoa, it's brighter in here. Something's different, but don't try to figure it out. Just be curious and look and notice. Notice where your eyes are drawn to, always feeling your breath, feeling your feet, staying in your body as you look out at your surroundings. Find that one thing that catches your eye, that lights you up, maybe excites you a little bit. And lovingly acknowledge that energy, what it represents, beyond what you were told it represents. Feel it in your heart, what it is. Welcome back. So be sure to drink a lot of water. If you want to journal about your experience, it's always helpful. I'd recommend that whenever anything comes, like a part of self that you connected with, if they come back, work with that presence, with that love, with that curiosity, and watch that you don't get caught up in their story. Just like as if it was a friend or a child coming to you, be that loving presence. You're feeling it, but not being pulled and swayed by it. And this is really the work in every moment, is to remember that you are the love, you are this divine presence, and whatever comes to you, whether it's outside of you or inside of you, is the opportunity to be with it and acknowledge it and not even try to change it, but know that you can never be overwhelmed by it. So hope you all have an amazing month. I'll see you next month. And if you want a tarot reading or looking for some breathwork sessions, please reach out at jasondonaldsonhealer.com. All right, love you all. And those that are still on the call, please stay, because we're going to do a little bit more connection and sharing. So see you all later. Aloha.